Hello, Goldma viewers. Welcome again. We are still on the topic of discussing ICOs, and today we're going to discuss how to identify a legitimate ICO, with a solid business plan, versus a scam ICO, and how to tell the difference between the two, because I think it's important for investors to be vigilant and to know how to invest wisely. We're going to start with Mr. Rubin. What are the signs that you might deem to be telltale signs of a promising ICO?
Of a promising ICO?
Yeah.
I like a solid business,
Yeah.
preferably one that's actually up and running.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it a lot easier. That way you can look and sort of say, okay, in this segment of the market that they're participating in, how is it looking? How's the entire market? How well do they perform in it? And that type of thing. So that's what I would like to look at. If it's not an already existing business, it's still sort of the same thing. But then I'm looking at, okay, how is it different? What are they bringing to the game that's different to the existing players?
Yeah, Anthony?
Oh, absolutely. So my thing is the technology. So I look at how the technology can improve on a certain problem. And I think that is the whole thing, is just trying to see the whole concept behind Bitcoin is that how it changes, how it's improved our economic state, how it's aiming to improve it. And I think that's what my main issue is with ICOs, is trying to find that technology.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a bit of a hit and miss, but...
Okay. I think for me personally, they're white paper. Like, I pay extreme attention to that. I really want to know, because as opposed to other people that get the chance to pitch to their investors directly in person, I can't see the people that are offering me something. So I want to read that white paper, and it should have elaborate details of how they plan on making money from me once I invest in their venture. I think that's the most important part for me.
Well, for me, I look at a number of metrics. And one of the metrics I look at is the team. Who are these people who are proposing this type of new business venture?
Yeah.
Because people at the end of the day is what make things go.
True.
And when you look at the human resource aspect of it, I want to look at what have they done successfully already.
Yeah.
What is it that they are proposing, and who's the people around that CEO that he's surrounding himself, or she is surrounding himself around. And I also look at a metric such as how close are they to the fundamentals of money?
Yeah.
How can it benefit me personally?
Yeah.
Like, if they've made a plan to help me make more money, not necessarily about market adoption. Market adoption is too fickle for me. I don't like that. I like to know that this person has a plan that's solid about making me money.
Yeah.
If they can intertwine that into their business plan, into their white paper, and the white paper must be solid to me.
Yeah.
The presentation must be very interesting.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I look at is how well or how far have they gotten with the product? Is it working already, like Ruben said?
Yeah.
If it's not working, well, that's a big knock on it for me.
Yeah.
They need to be working already
Yeah.
and have a history of making it work successfully.
Yeah.
So those are the metrics that I'm looking for.
Okay. There's something that I just want to bring into the discussion. I've seen people that comment, like on the Goldma project, and they say, in Zimbabwe. Oh, you guys are in, Zimbabwe, like of all places. Do you think that the jurisdiction matters?
No, absolutely not. I think it can work anywhere. And the fact that it's actually in Africa, I think that's a great thing. We're bringing this technology to Africa, to Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
and to something like gold mining. You know, I mean, bringing gold mining out and into mine tech, I think, as Mr. Jenkins has probably said, you know, so bringing gold into a 21st century asset, I think that is the main thing. Like, that's what I would look at, you know, as, like, you know.
It shouldn't matter.
Okay.
It shouldn't matter.
Okay.
He's right. It should not matter.
Yeah.
It does matter. However, and that's unfortunate that it does matter because of perceptions, because of the structure. I think you talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
You talked about that people look at Africa as third rate, second rate, but definitely not first rate. They do not perceive that a product comes out of Africa, although the majority of raw products come from Africa, especially money, such as gold, platinum, and other diamonds. And you just think about the Congo, you know, and how is it that there's so many cell phones out in the world? However, the necessary components, raw material, come from Africa.
Yeah.
Yet, it's third rate? How is this? It doesn't make sense. So there's some disparity there, and we can illuminate the reasons why. But as Anthony said, it should not matter.
Yeah.
But to a lot of people, it does. And there's a subconscious fear, or maybe a conscious fear, because they're looking at historical trends. What have Africa produced that would give me the confidence that this is a safe investment?
Okay.
And so what Goldma is doing is saying, well, we're going to actually now bring you closer to the value chain, because what's been happening is that you've been at another point in the value chain. You have not got to the raw.
You
The
have
raw
no
is,
way of reaching,
right. You had no possible way to reach Africa before.
Yeah. I
Now
like
you
that.
got a way to get here, right to the ground where the gold is coming from.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's happening.
But you know, there's, I think part of the value of these conversations is that sort of correcting those perceptions, or those misperceptions rather, because a lot of people, if you're watching in a Western country, you buy something because of the relationship you have with a particular brand.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know where they got it. So if it's a mobile phone, if it's an iPhone or a Samsung phone or whatever, you identify with that brand. So you're not conscious of where those things have come from. If it's a wedding ring or something like that, it's Tiffany's or wherever in New York. So you don't actually sort of think through like where it came from. So the value of this and having these conversations is, hey, we get to tell you most of the gold, if you're buying that Tiffany's ring, chances are it came from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All the diamonds.
Yeah.
But I'm a firm believer in leapfrog. So basically, we've seen what other countries are getting wrong, and we can, as being an African country, maybe being underdeveloped, we can certainly go beyond that, and we miss that whole section of what other societies have got wrong, and we can get to that point far quicker, far more economically than any other country can. And I think that is, that's also one of the good things about starting from an African country is being able to see these issues.
That's a very good point.
I like what you're saying right now, because basically Zimbabwe can be a prototype, of the ideal African nation, rich in resources and knows how to manage them with transparency. Sort of like, I watch movies a lot, but the ideal Wakanda. Because, for those that watched the Black Panther, the idea behind Wakanda as a text, if we have to do text analysis, it's to say that when resources are managed properly, then the nation will prosper. And I think that's one thing that Zimbabwe can actually achieve. What you're talking about, leaping to that stage and bypassing certain stages. I think that we're able to do that, and this can be done through ICOs and blockchain technology. Now we're going to flip the coin now. The telltale signs of a scam ICO, because they are there. And actually the ICO universe, unfortunately, is plagued by a lot of bad actors. And it's important to protect investors from such things. Like, people need to be conscious. Sometimes you might actually think that you're being vigilant, but there are certain signs that you can miss.
Definitely. I mean, there's some metrics again. You know, I like metrics.
Numbers guy.
I'm a numbers guy. And some of the things I look at is I look at the team and can I see social profiles that demonstrated that this is a real person on Facebook, this is a real person on LinkedIn, this is a real person on other social media platforms, and that they've made it public to say, hey, look at me, look what I've done, look at my achievements, and this is the reason why, because I have some historical precedents on why I will be successful doing what I'm doing. The other metric that I look at is, does this person have the ability to articulate the idea in a manner that the community accepts and says, this is what we've been looking for. Like Anthony was saying, he was saying, if there's a problem, are you addressing the problem that is really relevant? And of course, I told you again, one of the things I look at if you have a scam is the white paper, and you have some type of hard cap that's unrealistic to what you're trying to do. You know, it doesn't make sense that you need $110 million if you're just going to sell me teddy bears on the corner. You know? It doesn't make sense to me. So I look at white paper, I look at the team, I look at them demonstrating that they want to be transparent, and I look at if this person has a good presentation.
Okay. For me personally, I value online presence. Reason being, it's very easy for me to, like, I can personally just have my own ICO. Imagine how you can create your own tokens on Waves, like how easy it is now. And then just create ghost accounts. But I have to check the activity in all those accounts, including the Telegram group, and Facebook is a big one. And also I like seeing visuals. Like, if I can actually see that this team, I can see the team members interacting with the community, because basically you're pitching your idea to me within the virtual universe, because we can't be seeing each other face to face. So I look at that, I want to see pictures, I want to see videos of you in your offices. I want you to explain and update me, where are we in terms of the ICO, and what are our plans, and engaging with me, basically. I like to see that engagement.
And continually seeing different pictures. That's also a main thing. It's like, so you can always go get stock photos, but seeing the same person but in different pictures. I think, and doing research. Do as much research into that ICO as possible. Going to the white paper, but also read reviews. Read what other people, other articles are saying about it. So just see what other people, if they think it's a great idea, or not.
I don't have much more to add to that.
I was about to ask, do you think that reviews from platforms like ICO Bench and other platforms that provide a rating system also help in deciding whether to invest or not?
Well, you have to have them. You have to have these benches that, so people can go to these benches and see, right, well, this has got a 4.6 star. That's great. We have to have these systems in place to monitor an ICO. And I think these benches are a great way of doing it. And it's also, it's not government, it's people, real people have rated that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's the main goal, is trying to do away with government intervention, but helping the person and
Yeah.
getting reviews.
Yeah.
Definitely, and I think that is a great starting point. Like that's where you want to start. You want to look at what is the community saying about this particular ICO, and then when you start there, you do your own due diligence from there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a good indicator, but it's not the. And I want people to think that is the end all be all of all. And that's not what he's saying, but he's saying, hey, you need some benches, you need some benchmarks in
Yeah.
place. And then after that, you now can kind of dive down and figure out what are the different attributes of this ICO
Yeah.
that could lend to the probability of it being successful.
Okay. You mentioned earlier about the personnel, like the team involved in the ICO.
Yeah.
And I just want to shine a light on a very important department. How important is the advisory board when you're trying to analyze an ICO?
Man, that's good because we didn't bring that up, but that is that is very important because most of the time the advisors have or should have experience with other ICOs, what worked, what didn't work, what were the vendors that helped propel that
Yeah.
ICO to a successful point. So advisors are very important. Those advisors that actually help you and are actively involved in advising you. I know that I've had a couple of advisors that told me up front, hey, look, you can put my picture up, but I'm not going to be involved. I'm going to be busy. And I just said, no, that's okay. No, thank you. I wanted to be able to communicate with that advisor to get an idea of what and how should I navigate the next steps.
Okay. Any thoughts on that, guys?
But not necessarily, just cut in there. It's not, sometimes it's companies in particular sectors that it helps to actually have partnerships or some links outside of that sort of tech world.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to bring Goldma up here, but Goldma, because behind that there's a mining operation, there's an actual partnership that's out there on the website that's made public that we've had consultancy services from Minxcom.
Yeah, definitely.
So it helps to sort of
Yeah.
make real this project so that it's not some pie in the sky type of thing.
And having other local companies, ATA, part of it, local companies to help get to our goal.
No, you guys bring up very good points because that's definitely what I was looking for. I was looking to make a team of advisors and partners. I had lawyers on the team.
Yeah.
I have mining consultants on the team.
Yeah.
And then I also have ICO consultants. So I take in consideration everyone. And then I also have the partners, as he was saying, ATA, I have APT, Peacock and Simpson. I put together and surrounded us around people who have knowledge and experience in the endeavors that we're trying to make sure that we push even further beyond where we are right now.
Okay. Oh, nicely put, Mr. J. There's another very important factor that I think people ignore when determining whether an ICO is successful or not, whether it's a scam or genuine, and that's what happens after the ICO. So if someone's to ask you right now, okay, I hear all that, but what are you going to do with my money after that? What do you guys tell them?
You better be getting down to business, right?
Yeah.
Because it's crowdfunding, it's raising finance. Now that you have the money, work. Do the things that you told us you were going to do.
Okay. Anthony?
Prove it. Show it. Again, to take pictures. And in Goldma, we won our 20%. So that I think that is, getting that 5% after every quarter just shows that this is a great ICO. I think that's actually having proof of work of what you're doing.
And another thing that, to add on what these guys are saying, is that, you want to make it so that your ICO token is on exchanges so that there's some liquidity and people can look at the value of your token over time.
Okay.
And now it demonstrates how much value that token has actually provided for the token holder. Also, not only are you showing it, but you're showing it through the same social media platform that you were using before to raise the money. So you're actually staying and keeping a closer relationship with that community to say, hey guys, this is what we're doing. This is what I think that we're going to do next. And if there is any way that you guys can contribute even further, let us know. Talk to us. And that's what we're going to do with Goldma, is basically let people know what we're doing at the mine, let you guys know what we're doing here, the type of ideas that we're coming up with. And also, we're going to make sure that you guys get a chance to actually share in the royalties that we're producing. And so I think it's a good thing.
But that's an amazing thing. It goes back to what I said earlier when I contrasted ICOs and IPOs. We have a much closer knit relationship.
Yeah.
So it means that we can really show, we can really have that platform of like, so here's what's happening and that type of activity. In other situations or in an IPO, well, I suppose you read about it in the Financial Times or in the, that type of thing. But it's not as intimate and it's not as empowering to the, to the sort of retail investor.
Okay. I really hope this talk was insightful and that you guys got to have some sort of understanding into what an ICO really is and the whole purpose of conducting an initial coin offering. I'd like to move a little bit to something else that everybody on the panel here is very passionate about, and that's having your top 5 picks. Okay. Right now, the cryptocurrency market has become a thing that, people actually look at every day because obviously you have vested interests, right? So we'll start with you, Mr. J. Top 5 picks.
Top 5 picks. Well, as a businessman, when I look at Ripple and what they're trying to do with respect to getting inside the banks and providing a solution that we really want the banks to do is to get onto the blockchain. So there's more transparency, and I think by providing that solution to the banks, where now it doesn't take 3 days to do a wire transfer, the wire transfer can happen immediately. Who wants that? Who wants the ability to actually send money from Zimbabwe to another country, and there isn't the issue of whether there's cash in the reserves or none of that? That's what you want. So I think that they have a really big, promising idea that they're trying to do, and I think they're going to change the banks from the inside. That's number one. Number two, I really like the money that EOS raised. They raised a lot of money. And with a lot of money, you can do a lot of things. Number three, I really like Stellar. And I think Stellar, even right now, just recently, they're up 11%. Okay? That's huge. Huge. And I want to stop here, the last one, Cardano. I think that they're going to do big things because these are very, very smart people behind, and they've raised a lot of money. So when you look at the team, these are all intellectuals. They're all scientists with all these different degrees, and they've had the time to actually study what's going on in the market and figure out what type of problems are they going to resolve for the marketplace. So those are my picks.
All right, Anthony?
So I don't really have a top 5. I just have a top 1.
Uh-oh.
And that one is Bitcoin. I'm really keen to see what happens with Bitcoin in the next over August with the ETFs coming out and with this Lightning Network that's just come out. So I'm really interested to see where that goes, if it goes back up to that 20,000 mark that it was last year.
Oh, that would be good for people.
That's where I want to see it again. So I think that one is my main one I'm going to be watching for some time. Obviously, EOS. I'm a big fan of EOS, and obviously keep watching them.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Look, a couple of months ago, actually, no, a couple of weeks ago, we were reading like dreadful headlines, right?
About Bitcoin,
we've now hit 6,000, and is it going to get any lower than that and that type of stuff? But now we're back over 8, and it's going up. I don't think with all this money circling around, we're going to go down in the near future. The other thing for me is sort of an ideological thing. I just love Bitcoin because it is very true to the intention, of the space. Look, there is no central authority controlling Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. There's no guy sort of hacking some numbers and sort of manipulating on it. It's Bitcoin. It's pure.
Okay, right. It's my turn to make a pick. One word, EOS. That's all I have to say. Like, I'm a huge fan, and I really love how they managed to raise just an enormous amount of money that can do a lot. So it's not just a good business plan, but people have faith in their business model, and that goes a long way, right? Right. Okay, now we have to just leave you now. I hate to do this, but we've got to go. Thank you very much for joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments section. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give us a thumbs up and click the notification bell as well if you've subscribed, so that you know, because we are going to be putting out more content for you guys to watch. Till next time, it's bye-bye.